Everybody get up, come on, I got it.
Should be a very serious meeting,
I will. I'm ready when you guys are. How's everybody doing tonight? Good? Good. Yeah, I just wanted to stop back in and kind of touch base with you about the car show that we recently had. I wanted to say thanks a lot for all the help that the city gave us. It rained a couple of days before and just poured the night before, so getting everything set up was a little bit of a chore, but we had a really good turnout. I don't know if anybody's seen the paper, and we had 107 actually showed up for the show at Redshift, so it was good. With the sponsors and car show, it helped the pantry raise $5,000. That wasn't bad. People came around from, on the average, probably 50, 60 miles away. And we had tractors and trucks. PD, I think PD, you guys got a little something, didn't you? Yeah. Did you get the donuts that went with the trophy? Fantastic. Then we talked to several of them that came into town. They said on top of what they spent on the entry fee and at the car show, that they spent roughly average between $50, $55 each. So if you think about that, that brought in over $5,000 to the camera area alone between what they ate and they got gas. And some of those cars, I'm sure, walking 2 miles per gallon with a strong crew wind behind them. So I thought that was good for the community. I would like to talk to you guys maybe about solidifying next year's show. And we would like to do it the Friday before the 4th of July. Probably do an kind of evening type show, afternoon, evening, and maybe expand a little more on it as far as what we have entailed. We saw a lot of tractors. For the first time we actually had tractors, there were several tractors that showed up, and I think next year there'll be more. We made a lot of really good contacts. But again, I did want to thank the city. A few things I would like to maybe talk about. We don't have to do it right now, but maybe in the near future is somehow to make the form easier, more user-friendly. Have you guys ever filled out one of those forms? Time-consuming. There was over 40 hours and several dollars invested in this form by the time you sent letters out to people and made the contacts and everything. And checked with this person, that person, ran here, ran there. It was extremely time-consuming. So I don't know if there's a way we can make that easier, but I would definitely entertain any kind of thought that you might have. And unfortunately, I don't know, something else I want to talk to you about is we sent letters out to all of the adjacent property owners and stuff. A lot of them didn't listen. We got out there that morning, there was cars parked all along the streets and trying to get them to move. So there's really no checks and balances as far as, we did what was asked of us, we did. Okay. Those are trash, and so I don't know what you guys think. Is there an easier way to do it maybe? Sure.
And this is the same date that Ed Riley's used to be, correct? He's
Yes.
not doing it any longer.
No. Well,
So-
we did talk to Ed though, and as I said in the previous meeting, he's got some different things he's going to be talking to. But Ed did say that he'd be willing to help us with it. So I think with that and the others and maybe some of the local clubs, I think next year could be even bigger. For our third show, we went from 8 our first show, 50 to our second show, and then 107. Those are pretty good jumps. And there was some money sitting up there. I had some insurance guys that were up there running around. They said there was like $3.5 million worth of cars sitting around the park.
4 minutes.
Oh, I'm done. Just, you guys got any questions for me or anything?
Thank you for doing it.
Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I think it's a good deal for everybody. All right, I'm out. See you later.
Thank you.
At 410 South Farm Street. I was wondering where the city's at as far as the pit bull ban and initiating the vicious dog rule. I have a dog that's been boarded for 7 months now. We really would like for her to come home. I boarded my American Staffordshire Terrier for 7 months now. she has all her shots. I would love to bring her in so the city could, I mean, she's a very, very sweet dog, and my family misses her, we miss her a lot. We have to go visit her on the weekends. We would just like to have our family back together, so I just don't know where the city's at on this topic. I've been reading in the paper, but I haven't.
They get ready on the next agenda, but I'm not positive that, but
It's getting close. So we don't know exactly this.
So at this point, do I just need to continue to come, or?
You can come like her.
I ask Ray every time I come in to pay my bill.
Okay.
And I mean, it's just, I mean, are we looking for ideas and requirements to have pit bulls in city limits, or?
no, it's just wrapping up, it's regular.
We had it in committee.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be from the council soon, so.
Planning and zoning.
Okay. That's all, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
So, couldn't want to like take you said, Rose, but, week from tomorrow night, October 11th, Sons of American Legion is hosting a chili supper for all first responders, local law enforcement, EMS, fire, et cetera, and their families. Chief, I sent you a letter today with the invite, if you're able to distribute that. And I sent one to Chief Basher also. I didn't know, Barbara, if there was any use for me to give you one, maybe post it elsewhere or what have you. But it's just a simple flyer. I'll give this to you afterwards. And if there was anywhere that might be useful to, let these guys and gals know that we're going to do this next Tuesday night at 5 o'clock, I'd appreciate any help, anywhere this can be posted. So I'll get this to you afterwards. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, it's done, we'll go to the community project report. Anyone wishing to speak on that? That takes us to the municipal pool and ball field status. Next item is the city manager's report.
Somewhat related to that previous item is the park board and EDOC are scheduling a meeting. I'm assuming that this includes council as well, which would be the 11th at 6 o'clock here downstairs. And I don't have, I'll send something out on it and get more information. Puzzled what is it? Okay. I have an email out and I haven't heard back yet, so once I get that. One of our unfinished business is the financing for water system improvements. Mom and Jack on the minute, when that item comes up. Related to that is whenever we do these things, we get a standard 4 rating from standard 4 on our credit rating, and as well as overall financial condition of the city. And that's why I put in here, instead of sending you the entire report, I do have that as several pages if you'd like to see it. That's just kind of the nuts and bolts of in a nutshell is the A+ stable rating for both certificates remains in place, and our overall issuer credit rating is AA- that hasn't changed either. So they both improved a few years ago and have stayed at that level. So that's a good thing to see. On our streets projects, basically done. The 5th and 6th meat projects basically complete. The city crews are doing some sidewalks, finishing up in that area that were not part of the project. Very little left to do on that, and that project will be completely wrapped up. The sidewalk overpass project is expected to be done probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. It's going on pretty well and it's moving a little quicker now. The weather has stayed. I think we finally had a full week, 10 days of good weather with no rain, so that's helpful. now, or possibly up at the, near the North Water Tower. Both sites would work physically. There are a few downsides to either one, so I may bring this back either at committee level or council to see where we want to try to put it. We need a little more field work too to establish the best location for that. The demolition contractor hasn't worked in a while, and we have not been able to contact, he's not returned our calls, so we have 2 houses remaining. So we issued a letter requesting contact us to finish those 2 houses, or we'll go to the second lowest bidder on the list to get a price, or get a time set to get those done. It seems already submitted to the line, so we'll try to get that done before the weather turns. We might even add some additionals, but we'll have to probably bid those new ones. Tim Hamilton, our development director, will be leaving this 14th, I think, is his last day. So we will need to get moving on that position quickly. We have all kinds of things going on, and it's getting pretty busy in some respects, even though we're heading into winter, we're still going to have a lot going on. So I got to move on that, getting that going. I may be able to find an interim person within a few weeks that could help us out. It would be maybe a retired person or somebody who was just recently in business that has that experience that come in and kind of get the ground running, so to speak. Hopefully that'll work out. And on the city inspector jobs that we never have not filled, I'm going to look at filling that at some point in the near future. We're going to try to do, there's a few things we can do to different departments. We can do some of the inspections, but there's a lot more than just job than just inspections. So, well, for example, the dam construction and condemnation project, that's something that really the building inspector would do instead of what Tim would do. I have about 10 things here that need to be, we'll have to work out. If it looks like we're going to have to do that and fill that, then that'll take a budget adjustment, but we'll try to see if we can keep things going. We got Chung's expansion coming up. We've got a lot of projects coming up, potential projects that are going to take a lot of work. So we'll see how that goes. But that would be my intent, is to try to immediately fill the one and then be looking at the other. If it looks like we're going to have to. So, let's see. That is all I have. Thank you.
Questions or comments? That takes us to unfinished business. We have a second final reading on 2016-43.
Bill 2016-43, an ordinance authorizing the city of Cameron, Clinton, and DeKalb counties, Missouri, to enter into a lease purchase transaction to pay costs of water and sewer system improvements and approving the execution of certain documents in connection therewith.
I'll entertain a motion to pass Bill 2016-43 on the second reading.
So, sorry.
Moved and second. Discussion.
I have Jack Dillingham here. He'll give you just a brief explanation of the project. Answer your questions.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Jack Dillingham with Piper Jaffray from Kansas City. It's my pleasure to appear before you tonight in conjunction with the issuance of the certificates of participation and the final reading of the ordinance authorizing those COPs. We have locked in interest rates at this time. I think you all probably received from Barbara, maybe in conjunction with tonight's meeting, a one-page summary that we prepared, which I will use as a reference to quickly go through some of the highlights. As Mark mentioned, the rating of the city's annual appropriation debts, which means certificates of participation in our case, was reconfirmed at A+, and the issuer credit rating, basically that means if you had general obligation bond debt outstanding, they would rate it AA-. The final issue size was held at $3.9 million, and to the project fund, we have $3,812,266 after the cost of issuance and underwriting. The length of the financing was a total of 19 years, and our net interest cost of 2.9%. To compare that to the first series in 2014, might be interesting to know that that issue was a 15-year issue, so it was 4 years shorter, and the net interest cost on it was 3.32. So certainly, I think we've been wise to break this up into two transactions, obviously, and wait until we needed these monies before going to market with the second phase of the sewer improvement financing. And in regard to that, obviously, we're looking to close the issue fairly quickly, October 19th. And so at that point in time, funds will be available and the ability to move forward with paying or reimbursing costs related to the project. These funds will be available. One of the other financing highlights, we were able to maintain the rating and do this transaction without having to borrow funds or create a debt service or bond reserve fund, which in essence in today's world where you borrow the money, for example, at our specifics here, 2.9%, and you borrow enough to fund a reserve fund, say 10%, so you put $3.9 million in the bank and earn what? Next to nothing. So the ability to not have to have a reserve fund at all and still pass muster, if you will, with S&P. And we did this in 14, and we were able to do this again in this issue in 16. So I think that is one of the benefits that we were able to kind of finesse with regards to how to structure this most cost efficiently. The call date on this issue, basically 9.5 years, 2026, March 1. The other issue, we've got a little shorter call feature on it because it's a 15-year financing. Those costs can be called in 2022. So if there's an opportunity 6 years from now to refinance or call those in, certainly they're the ones with the higher interest rate that we just discussed. So therefore, those would be the ones that would be more of a refunding candidate possibly in the future. I don't know that I'm the best to talk about the project per se, but obviously from a standpoint of the timing of this, I think we hit all the marks on the financing calendar such that we would be in a position tonight to take final action on the part of the council and therefore then be able to wrap this up on the 19th, which is week after next, I guess. So we'll get this put together, put to bed, and funds will be available. If you have any questions or anything specifically that you'd like me to address, I'll be glad to, but I did want to take the opportunity to give you a recap of the financing, how things went, and to answer any questions. Mayor? Well, I digress. I should have introduced Hayden Crumpton with Gilmore and Bell. Hayden is an associate of Tony Stegman. I believe Tony was at the last council meeting for the first reading, and Hayden came to cover the meeting tonight and get documents signed and so forth. But Hayden Crumpton here with Gilmore and Bell is the person I'm sitting next to out here.
We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5 in favor, 0 opposed. I'll entertain a motion to pass bill 2016-43 on third reading by roll call. So moved. Moved in second. Discussion?
Darlene Breckenridge. Yes. Dennis M. Clark.
Yes.
Jerry Ann Evans.
Yes.
John Earl Piper.
Yes.
Ronnie Jack.
Yes.
Takes us to new business. We have a full reading on bill 2016-44.
Bill 2016-44, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a remediation project consultant agreement with H.W. Lochner Incorporated to perform professional services for improvements at Cameron Memorial Airport relating to project number 16-013A-1 AWAS.
I'll entertain a motion to pass bill 2016-44 on first reading.
So moved. Sorry.
Moved in second. Discussion?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. What we have here is an agreement with an engineering firm, H.W. Lochner, for engineering services related to the design of an AWAS system. We're able to bring this agreement with H.W. Lochner before you this evening because we had another grant opportunity through our non-primary entitlement grant funding for $45,827 in grant monies for this project. This is our next step. We've been working on this particular project, the AWAS, for a number of years. Some of you may recall we started with this 3-4 years ago. We did a study to see what type of system and the benefits of an AWAS here at Cameron Memorial Airport. After we did the study, we moved forward in the last year, I believe, or 2 years ago with easements. And last year we were working on the land acquisitions for the AWAS. So again, this is the next step in that process, is the design of the AWAS. I guess just a real quick background, AWAS stands for Automated Weather Observation Service, or weather station. Key benefits are increased safety, efficiency, it's timely, accurate weather information, increases operational safety, lowers costs, can dramatically impact the economic situation of both the airport and our community in terms of increased flight traffic impacts, revenue, fuel sales. The information for wind speed, direction, ceiling, visibility, et cetera, are all crucial for flight plan preparation. Allows pilots to make informed decisions regarding fuel management, diversions, what airport, their flight path, and landing. One of the greatest benefits of an AWAS, it provides for improved source of weather for our federal aviation regulations. Operators, when visibility is low, pilots are operating underneath the instrumental flight rules. The data provided by an AWAS makes it possible for planes to conduct an instrument approach to landing, where otherwise they wouldn't be able to. So this, again, is the next step of our AWAS, or Cameron Memorial Airport. The total cost of this engineering agreement with H.W. Lochner is $50,450. It's included and approved in our airport layout plan. We did receive the grant funding for this. If the council is in favor with the contract, the agreement with H.W. Lochner at our next council meeting, we would then have an agreement to accept the grant monies for the project. Any questions I can answer?
I've got a couple.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as I'm reading through here, it says that we do get the grant, but then there's also a 10% match. So is the $50,000 that you're requesting, is this really going to cost us $500,000? Or is this saying of this $50,000, we're going to have to come up with $5,000 of it?
We have to come up with approximately $5,000.
Okay.
The engineering service agreement is up to a max, not to exceed $50,400. Our grant that we received would be up to, not to exceed $45,827. So of course, those costs may come in.
So that's about 5,000.
Yes, they're both capped at max.
Okay. And how many flights daily do we have going in now? I'm just curious.
A couple dozen. I think on average, a couple dozen. I don't know. I know we've, MoDOT Aviation has done a study on that, and we do have a full report of how many flights, not only how many flights, but the type of flights. Because you have your smaller planes as well as larger jets, fuel sales revenues. Our courtesy car seems to go out almost a couple times a week, if not daily sometimes during the busy season, as folks come into town for business or shopping or eating, restaurants.
They fly and go to Dino's.
They actually do,
I don't
yes.
know. That's a good place. Okay, well, maybe you and I can even talk offline on how many or whatever. I'm just curious.
MoDOT, we have a great brochure on that. I can make sure that Mark still has it and get it to you.
Cool, thank you. And the last thing that I just had a question on is, so this is actually just the service to design what we're going to need, correct?
That is correct. It also has the other engineering services related to the AWAS, which would be the bidding process and the inspection process.
Do we have any idea, before we even spend $5,000, Do we have any idea what it would cost, what this observation service center will cost to the city?
The cost for construction,
Construction, build out, complete.
well, again, just, I don't have any figures in front of me, Councilmember,
Uh,
but I believe around 75,000.
Okay.
But we did, a couple years ago, the first thing we did was the study to figure out the benefit of an AWAS. Was it worth the cost to build it?
Okay.
Would we see our return on that?
All right.
We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5 in favor, 0 opposed. I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rules and pass bill 2016-44 on second reading. So moved. Moved and second. Discussion? Proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? 5 in favor, 0 opposed. I'll entertain a motion to pass bill 2016-44 on a second reading by roll call.
So moved. Second.
Moved and second.
Dennis M. Clark.
Yes.
Jerry Ann Evans.
Yes.
John R. Ryder.
Yes.
Ronnie Jack.
Yes.
Darlene Redmond.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the resolution 2016-19.
Resolution 2016-19. A resolution authorizing the purchase of a Rosenbauer aerial apparatus body, Rosenbauer Commander chassis, and Rosenbauer aerial by the city of Cameron, Clinton, and DeKalb Counties, Missouri, from Rosenbauer, South Dakota LLC, to be used by the Cameron Fire Department.
I will entertain a motion to pass bill 2016-19, or excuse me, resolution 2016-19.
So.
Moved and second. Discussion? Chief Vaughn.
Thank you all. If you all remember, the voting public city of Cameron in April 2016 passed a partisan sales tax. Just to recap what's kind of happened for fire department. And that was broken up as we had, and we spoke to you in 2 sections. It was 20-year sunset, first 10 years being to use the monies to purchase equipment for capital improvements, basically, i.e. a new aerial apparatus, new pumper truck, expansion of public safety building, and also monies available to do some improvements at the public safety building and looking into the future for living quarters updates for that building, with the second 10 years being for possibility of some full-time firefighters. So starting in my first purchase was looking at a 78-foot aerial apparatus. And this has been, I've been working on this, on specifically the aerial apparatus for approximately a year or before I even brought it to the taxpayers, so I know what kind of monies I'd be looking at. And after the passage of the tax, I assembled a 5-person committee consisting of myself and 5 other firefighters looking into the project of this purchase, and also along at the same time looking at the purchase of a pumper truck and being able to assemble that. As I talked to you before, apparatus of this nature is very complex. There's a lot of pieces. I think my spec sheet for this truck's 150 pages, and if you want specific nutter bolts, you have to actually put it in the spec sheet or you don't get it. So as I was looking at that, I purchased trucks before and actually have to go out for bid for different companies, and that becomes a real issue because there is not only one company can bid exactly what you want. They can be similar, but they're never exact. So as I was looking into the program of purchase, I found that there was an approved way to do that, and that was it'd be a function of like a state bid if you was going to buy a municipality or a governmental institution or tax exempt to buy something, they could buy it on state bid, where everything was already bid out, and I didn't have to bid that. So as I looked at that and looked at the companies, I chose two companies that I wanted to work with. One company that I purchased previous trucks with, and I liked their apparatus, I liked their service, they're very personable, they take care of business. The other company that I worked with this particular apparatus is Rosenbauer, or through Hyman Fire. They were the same way. I purchased a lot of equipment from them. I purchased trucks from them. They have very good service, very good equipment, and very serviceable. And that's important to me. So as we looked at, as we started looking into it, I chose two companies to look at. I chose Firemaster Fire Apparatus out of Springfield, Missouri, and I chose Rosenbauer LSC out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to look at. We looked at both an aerial apparatus and a pumper truck at those two places. As we put everything together, we chose Rosenbauer LLC out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota for an aerial truck. With that came a program that they call NJPA. That's the bidding process, just like that you all passed a resolution back here a few weeks ago for HGAC, for Firemaster, that we could purchase the truck without going through that real long lengthy bidding process. So anyway, in your packets tonight, you have a resolution for a new 78-foot aerial apparatus that has been spec'd out by the 5 committee members. The truck was spec'd out. It has a lot of new technology on it, has a lot of new safety features on it. But I can tell you, as we was looking at the truck and we was actually putting it together, and it's taken a long time to do that. I don't know how many times we went back and cut this and added that and came back around and asked questions and looked. But we came up with a piece of equipment that we feel is not elaborate at all, but will do the job that we want it to do. And that's the way we work. We want a piece of equipment that will do the job and be able to service for a long period of time. Because I'm looking at this truck to be a 25, 30, possibly even 35-year truck. I'm not going to be here that long, but somebody's going to have to deal with it down the line, even at 20 years. And I don't want anything, things always go wrong, but I want something that's going to be serviceable, so there's not a whole lot of repairs to it. So the committee felt real comfortable that this was the truck to purchase. We also looked at Firemaster, like I said, and we compared the two. They're very similar but different, and this one was the one we chose. The total, as I said, the quarter-cent sales tax that the voters voted for will be how this is paid for. That sales tax started Saturday, October 1. So we're now collecting funds to be able to do that. You should have in your packets a contract. It's an NJPA awarded contract for Rosenbauer South Dakota LLC. Total purchase price $661,485. And that's what the resolution actually states. We also found that when this contract came back, that if we prepaid for the chassis and the aerial device as it hit the plant, that we would receive discounts for that. And I don't know whether you have a copy of the contract or not, but anyway, just the chassis. Discount on the chassis, if we pay for that, is $9,141. And also the aerial part that goes on top of it, a discount at $3,543. If we pay for it at the time it hits the plant. We plan on taking advantage of those discounts. I spoke with and worked with the city manager and the city clerk on that, and we will start putting plans together probably in December, because the timeline will probably come on the first payment somewhere around the end of April 2017, and the next one about 60 days after that. So somewhere around the first of the year, we'll start looking at financing and how we're going to do that. the most efficient, cost-effective, and the fairest way to do it. And we spoke about that and have ideas how to do that. So anyway, tonight, Barbara has a signed contract from Wes Hyman, which is a salesman for the company. He has signed the contract. Once, if you all agree to sign the contract and then resign, and his city manager authorization to do that, the contract will go back to Rosenbauer LLC of South Dakota to be signed, and then all the paperwork will go back to the city of Cameron. And the process will begin. You're looking at about 360-day deliveries. So sometime first of October, end of October of 2017, maybe the 1st of November, we should see that truck on the ground. So, is there any questions? Okay. Thank you.
We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Next item on the agenda is resolution 2016-20.
Resolution 2016-20, a resolution by the City of Cameron, Clinton, and DeKalb Counties, Missouri, adopting the City of Cameron flexible benefit plan.
I will entertain a motion to pass over resolution 2016-20.
So moved. Second.
Moved and second, discussion.
Anybody have any questions?
I just had a couple quick ones. Is this due to Aflac getting out, or is everything just being a little bit of a deal? I was kind of trying to read through, and there's, well, and that's okay, but,
We have a broker, Brian Sloan,
okay.
can't remember the name of his company. But he went through everything with Sheridan for us, the health insurance, all of this. And it was more economical for both the city and the employees to use already. And there are some plans that, there are some employees that want to keep their Aflac plan, or they like their Aflac plan, and they may do so. They will be billed directly at home,
Okay.
and they can keep those plans if they want to, and there are some who are doing it.
Okay. So we're getting the option on both of them. Okay.
Well, we'll do payroll.
Right, sure.
So, yeah, and I think everyone is pleased with that decision.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Takes us to our second public participation. Anyone wishing to speak? This is the miscellaneous part.
And nothing?
Tom?
Pass.
Anything? Nothing? John? Drew?
Yeah, actually, I do. We were recently notified we were successful in obtaining another grant. It's called a TRIM grant, Tree Resource Improvement and Maintenance Grant. It's a $10,000 grant. We use it to update our tree inventory and assessment over this next season.
Awesome.
Good job.